Welcome to this IELTS Listening Practice test. In this test, you will listen to a variety of recordings and answer questions based on what you hear. Before each section begins, you will have time to read the instructions and questions carefully. After each section, you will be given a short period to review your answers before moving on to the next part. The listening test is divided into 4 parts. The recordings will be played one time only, so listen carefully and write your answers while listening. For each question, follow the word limit instructions carefully. For example, if the instruction says, "Write one word only," your answer must contain just one word. After completing all 4 parts, you will have time to review your answers. An answer sheet with all correct answers will be provided at the end of the video. Now, prepare your pen and paper, make sure you are in a quiet place, and let's begin the test. Part 1. You will hear a conversation between a woman and a member of staff at Lakeside Outdoor Centre. Now you have some time to look at questions 1 to 4. Now listen and answer questions 1 to 4.
Good morning, Lakeside Outdoor Centre. Megan speaking.
Hello, I'm interested in your summer activity programs.
Certainly. Have you visited us before?
No, although my sister came last year and enjoyed it.
Lovely. First, I'll take some details. Can I have your name?
Sophie Bennett,
And your address?
32 Riverside Avenue.
Sorry, was that Riverbank Avenue?
No, Riverside. Riverside.
Thank you. Could I have your mobile number?
Yes, it's 0778 45 62 193.
Fine. And how did you hear about us? Through the internet?
Not really. I saw a leaflet at the swimming pool, but I forgot about it. Then a colleague recommended your centre, and later I read a review in a magazine, which convinced me.
Excellent. What sort of activity are you interested in?
At first I thought about mountain biking.
That's one of our most popular courses.
Yes, but I haven't ridden for years.
We do have beginner groups.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I also considered rock climbing.
That course is already full, I'm afraid.
In that case, I'd like to book kayaking.
Good choice. And when would you like to start?
Originally, I planned to come in June, but work has become very busy.
No problem.
So I'd prefer the second week of July.
Would the 10th be convenient?
Actually, I arrive on the 11th, so let's make it 12th July.
Fine.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 5 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 5 to 10.
Now, accommodation. Many guests stay in the camping area because it's the cheapest.
I used to enjoy camping, but I don't sleep very well in tents anymore.
In that case, perhaps the Lakeside Hotel?
That sounds expensive.
It is slightly more expensive than the cabins.
Then I'd rather choose the wooden cabins.
Very popular choice. In the evenings, we organize live music performances, film screenings, and quiz competitions.
The music sounds interesting.
Friday's concert is usually crowded.
Actually, I was more interested in the film nights.
They're held every Wednesday.
Perfect.
By the way, did you decide against mountain biking because of the cost?
No, the price seemed reasonable.
Then because of your work schedule?
Not exactly. I was mainly worried because I'm still a beginner, and I thought the course might be too difficult.
I understand. Now, regarding the center map, the yoga classes are held in the building beside reception.
That's convenient.
Yes, that's the restaurant, because the upstairs room is used for fitness activities.
Okay.
Kayak lessons start from the boathouse, which is right beside the lake.
Naturally.
And bicycles are collected from the equipment store.
Right.
Anything else I can help you with?
No, that's everything. Thank you.
My pleasure. Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1. You now have some time to check your answers. Now turn to part 2. Part 2. You will hear a woman talking about facilities and visitor arrangements at Green Valley Wildlife Park. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 13. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 13.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Green Valley Wildlife Park. My name is Rachel Evans, and I'm one of the education officers here. Before you start exploring the park, I'd like to tell you about some recent developments and then explain the recommended route for first-time visitors. As many of you know, the park has been undergoing several improvements over the past year. Some of the work has only recently been completed. For example, many visitors had complained that it was difficult to find their way around the park, especially near the reptile house. We originally intended to produce a new map, but in the end, we decided that adding more signs throughout the park would be more useful, and these have now been installed. Several families also requested additional places to relax and eat, so we have created a number of new picnic areas. There were plans to build another cafe near the lake, but because of budget restrictions, that project has been delayed until next year. One of our most successful attractions is the children's farm. Since visitor numbers have increased dramatically, this area has recently been expanded and now includes separate feeding zones for rabbits and goats. We also considered enlarging the bird enclosure, but instead we improved the monkey habitat, which many of you may have noticed while entering the park. Although parking used to be a problem, we've decided not to construct another car park because the new bus service has reduced traffic considerably.
Now you have some time to look at questions 14 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 14 to 20.
Now, let me explain the route we recommend for new visitors. After entering the park, please collect a visitor guide from the reception desk. These are available free of charge and contain maps and feeding schedules. Some visitors mistakenly pick up the event program instead, but the guide is much more useful for finding your way around. Most people head straight towards the lake, but we'd actually advise you to start with the forest trail. It takes about 40 minutes to complete and gives an excellent introduction to many of our native species. One of the highlights of the day is the bird display. It used to begin at 11 o'clock, but because schools often arrive around that time, we moved it to 11:30. A second performance is held at 2:30 in the afternoon. By lunchtime, many visitors are ready for a break. Meals and drinks are available beside the butterfly garden. There's also a small snack kiosk near the aquarium, although this only sells sandwiches and ice cream. If you would like to join one of our guided afternoon tours, please remember that numbers are restricted. We originally allowed groups of 35 people, but following safety recommendations, the maximum has now been reduced to 25. Parents should also note that children under 12 are required to stay with an adult at all times. Older children may explore independently, provided they inform a member of staff. Finally, before leaving the park, we'd appreciate it if you could complete a feedback form. The information you provide helps us improve our facilities and visitor experience. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy your visit.
That is the end of part 2. You now have some time to check your answers. Now turn to Part 3. Part 3. You will hear a conversation between a student and a lecturer discussing an entry for a Sustainable Innovation Award. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Come in.
Good afternoon, Professor Harris.
Ah, Daniel, please take a seat. I received your email about the Sustainable Innovation Award. I understand you've reached the regional final.
Yes, fortunately. I wasn't expecting to get that far.
Congratulations. Now, remind me, what exactly are this year's requirements? I remember last year, participants were asked to reduce energy use.
That's right, but the organizers changed the rules this year. They aren't asking for completely new inventions either.
No?
No. In fact, the aim is to improve existing technology and adapt it in ways people haven't considered before.
I see. And which area have you chosen?
Urban transport.
Electric vehicles?
Not exactly. I considered that, and even public buses, but eventually I focused on bicycle parking systems.
That's rather specific.
Yes, cycling has become much more popular recently, and I thought better parking facilities might persuade even more people to cycle instead of driving.
So your motivation wasn't mainly financial?
Not really, although the project is fairly cheap compared with some others.
Tell me about your design.
It's called Cycle Point. Basically, ordinary bicycle racks are fitted with small sensors.
Security sensors?
People often assume that, but no, at least not yet. Eventually, They might help reduce theft, but their current purpose is simply to detect whether a space is occupied.
So they keep track of available spaces.
Exactly.
And what happens to the information?
Initially, I wanted to send the information straight to users' phones.
That sounds complicated.
Yes, which is why I've postponed that feature. At the moment, all the information is stored in the central system first and analyzed later.
Very sensible. And after the analysis?
The results are used to improve the software. Nothing is deleted, although some information may eventually be shared with councils.
Excellent.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Well, your proposal seems well thought out. What exactly did you want help with?
The final is in September, and I have to present the project before a panel of judges.
That shouldn't be too difficult.
Actually, speaking in front of people doesn't bother me much. It's what comes afterwards.
The presentation itself?
No, not really. I'm more worried about the questions they'll ask afterwards.
Ah, the question and answer session.
Exactly.
What preparation have you done so far?
I've completed the report and I've produced some computer drawings.
Good, but if you really want to impress the judges, I think you should build a prototype.
You mean a full-size model?
Not necessarily. A smaller prototype would be sufficient.
I was thinking the same thing.
So what's the main obstacle?
Originally, I thought software would be the biggest challenge, but surprisingly, that's been straightforward.
Really?
Yes, the real problem has been finding suitable materials. The better quality ones are much more expensive than I expected.
That's often the case. Have you considered asking the university for help?
You mean equipment?
Number: financial support.
I didn't realize that was possible.
There's a special fund for projects like yours. They may be able to provide some funding.
That would make a huge difference.
And I'd also like to have a look at your written report.
Certainly.
Overall, it's very good, but I'd like to check your cost estimates.
The figures in the appendix?
Yes, specifically the financial calculations. Judges are often very critical of those.
I'll email everything to you tonight.
Good. Bring the prototype sketches next week as well.
I will. Thank you very much for your help.
That is the end of part 3. You now have some time to check your answers. Now turn to part 4. Part 4. You will hear part of a lecture in a geography class about an endangered species known as the snow leopard. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll continue our series on endangered animals by looking at one of the least understood predators in the world, the snow leopard. Unlike lions or tigers, snow leopards are extremely difficult to observe in the wild, which explains why researchers often refer to them as the ghosts of the mountains. Let's begin with some of their physical characteristics. One of the reasons these animals can survive at high altitudes is their exceptionally thick fur. Many people assume its main purpose is camouflage, which is certainly important, but its primary role is to protect the animal against extremely low temperatures, especially during winter. Another remarkable adaptation is the tail. Although some early researchers believed it was mainly used for communication, more recent studies have shown that the tail serves two functions. Not only does it help maintain balance when the animal jumps between rocks, but it can also be wrapped around the body like a blanket while resting. Turning now to habitat, snow leopards occupy some of the harshest landscapes on Earth. They are found across several countries in Central Asia, mainly in remote mountainous regions. Their environment is characterized by steep slopes and rocky terrain. These cliffs do more than simply provide hunting grounds. They also protect the animals from natural disasters, particularly avalanches and landslides, which are common in such areas. Let's consider diet. Snow leopards are opportunistic hunters. Their favorite prey species include blue sheep and ibex. In fact, many biologists believe that ibex populations largely determine where snow leopards choose to settle. However, prey availability changes from year to year. During harsh winters, when wild animals become scarce, snow leopards occasionally prey on domestic livestock, which unfortunately brings them into conflict with local communities. This leads us to one of the biggest threats facing the species. Although hunting is prohibited in most countries, illegal poaching remains a serious issue. Animal skins and bones still command high prices on black markets. Another challenge arises when farmers lose sheep or goats. In retaliation, they sometimes kill snow leopards in order to protect their herds. Conservation organizations are therefore working with local communities to reduce such conflicts. So, what is being done to protect these animals? Modern technology has transformed wildlife research. In the past, scientists depended mainly on footprints and eyewitness reports. Nowadays, special camera traps are placed along mountain trails, allowing researchers to estimate population numbers more accurately. Finally, experts stress that no single country can guarantee the future of snow leopards. Since these animals move across international borders, cooperation between governments is essential if the long-term survival of the species is to be secured. That concludes today's lecture.
That is the end of part 4. You now have some time to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the listening answers sheet.